RNA translation. Cystic fibrosis is an inherited chronic autosomal recessive disease that affects lungs and digestive system of about 30,000 children and adults in the United States, 70,000 worldwide. A defective gene in its corresponding protein product causes the body to produce an unusual, thick, sticky mucus that builds up in the lungs and leads to a life-threatening lung infections. It also obstructs the pancreas and thus stops the natural enzymes from helping the body break down and absorb food. People with cystic fibrosis can have a variety of symptoms, including salty tasting skin, persisting cough, at times with phlegm, frequent lung infections, wheezing and shortness of breath, poor growth and weight gain in spite of a good appetite.
Normally, RNA translation begins from the mRNA attaching together with the ribosomal subunits, which are composed of ribosomal RNA and proteins. The translation begins with the AUG start codon, which codes for methionine. The tRNA attaches at the A site of the ribosome and then moves down to the P site to begin the polypeptide chain. After this, the next tRNA will come in and once again at the A site, and then will be moved to the P site, and the previous tRNA gets removed to the E site. Once the ribosome reaches the stop codon, it will code for a release factor, which stimulates the translation complex to break apart.
Alright, this is the normal mRNA sequence of the chromosome 7 that has a cystic fibrosis gene on it. The gene deletion is a one codon deletion, which is CTT. So thus when the mRNA comes into the ribosome to be sequenced and create the amino acid chain, the ATC is sequenced first. Then with the CTT deletion, the ATT codon is next sequence. So the CTT, the phenylamine amino acid, is deleted from the sequence. Then the sequence continues with the GTT, GTT, and so on. So thus your amino acid is missing one of the essential amino acids that causes the protein to not function correctly and causes cystic fibrosis disease.
Current treatments for cystic fibrosis are limited to chest percussion therapy, which is done in order to loosen the mucus so that the patient can cough it up. Aerobic exercise is recommended because the forceful breathing will loosen up the mucus and will also improve lung capacity. Medicines such as antibiotics will be prescribed in order to control infections in the lungs. There are also experimental treatment plans that would consist of using a chemical called curcumin, which is isolated from a spice called turmeric. Studies have shown that this chemical can alleviate all of the symptoms because it will allow the still functional but misshapen protein to function by stopping the cell's quality control mechanism. Even more breakthrough research has been done in gene therapy by the way of viral vectors, which is basically using genetically engineered viruses to insert the correct gene into the genome of the patient. A drug called PTC124, also called atalurin, has been used when there is a premature stop codon mutation, which is a rare version of the cystic fibrosis gene mutation. The drug forces the cell to skip over the PTC stop codon and enables normal termination of translation and looks